Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of John Can, You Can, and Adventure On. My actual website is john at you-can-do-it. John, you can do it, but with hyphens in between. Anyway, what I have before me is a Cabinet Strut. It's an air shock or gas shock, whatever you want to call it. And this one is 9.73 inches long. How do you know how big an air shock is? Well, when it's extended like it is now, fully extended because the shock is pushed out, right? From the center hole on the bottom, right here, to the center hole on this side, right there, it is 9.73 inches. So if I were to stand this up, for example, and put it on an angle, the side down here would go against the wall of the cabinet. It would go on the cabinet, and the side with the push out or the rod is the side that goes on the wall, the actual wall side of a cabinet. So this is how far it'll open. So if it had a base, which you can see here is flat, right? It would be the tabletop. But let's say, it's off the base a little bit and it's up in the air or very close to the bottom. Where this top hole is on the gas strut and going straight across in a line is how tall the opening will be. So how do you mark that? Well, you put the little nipple plate that comes with it. It's just a little plate. You pop it in there. It pops in, pops out. Same on top. And you lay it against the wall of the cabinet on this side, and you lay it against the top of the cabinet top. And that's how far it's going to open. So if you put it on, you'll know exactly how far open your cabinet's going to be. But why would you buy one and pray? Well, you don't. You can take a regular tape measure and you can mark it by just putting, let's say, you say, well, I want the bottom to be wherever you want it, and you want the top wherever you want it, and then you measure it. That's how long your strut has to be. These do not come in exact 10 inch. This is going to be called a 10-inch strut, even though it's 9.73 inches from hole to hole. So I am changing mine on my Rover King camper to a 12-inch. Why? Because opening it on a 90-degree angle, meaning it's perfectly on the shape of an L, right? It goes up and over like an L. I'd rather have the cabinet open up higher so that when you're going to reach in the cabinet and you want to get things out, you're not constantly tapping the top of your cabinet. And you can see deeper inside because it opens higher. Plus, this shock doesn't have very much push power. How do you know what the push power is on your shock? You're saying, well, what is the push power on this shock here? So when I look at this edge here, which you can hardly see, right? Because it's not focusing in on it. So let me do this. I'm gonna tap on it. And there, voila, it focuses in. It's a 60N. That's only about 15 or 20 pounds. So if you go up to 100N, it's about 30. You go up to 150, it's about 40 to 50 pounds per shock, right? And you probably want a 100 or 150 if you've got all kinds of stuff that you're putting on the outside of your cabinet doors on your camper, because you want it to still help you lift it up. Because if not, they won't open easy and it'll be like holding them anyway. So you want a stronger shock. But I'm putting on 12 inches, like I said, because 10 inches isn't enough, and I don't want a 90-degree angle. I want about a 115 to 120 degree angle, which is basically saying, instead of it being a flat L, I want the opening to pop open farther. I don't want it only to stick straight out. I want it to be up so that I can get inside and get at things a lot easier. Okay, and that's what you do with these shocks. So now you know how to measure them. you know how to mark it, and you also know about shock pressure. And a 60 is too weak. It's wimpy as can be. Okay, so you don't want probably that if you're putting any jackery. I call it jackery, but jackery in the urban dictionary just means BS or stuff or crap, right? But not that you want to put on, you know, odds and sods, BS, all the BS you want to put on, jackery. So anyway, that's what I want to do. I want to just put on all kinds of jackery on the outside of my camper door, and to do that I need stronger shocks so that it'll still open. So there you go, and remember, adventure on.